Alright guys, getting some baits in the water. Got my santee rig, a little Black Betty rattle here on these things. Hellcat rods. Got me a piece of good old luscious bluegill chunk. Oh yeah, springtime. Hard to beat a piece of bluegill for bait. We're gonna see if they're gonna eat this morning. Again, this ain't nothing but a santee rig. Got a drifting sinker on it. Got a rattle there. Big hook right there. A little bit bigger than we need. Piece of bluegill on here. Then we'll get that hook off. Not super big baits. I don't have big bluegill. So we're going to fish with what we got. Cast out. A little deeper water. In the tank here. Shoot. I said some of these are small baits, but it is what it is. I'm only gonna get 2 baits out of this one. Get me a head section, get me a body section. Don't always have big ones. It is what it is. They'll eat the smaller ones. Trust me on that. Green Hellcat rod, Ancient Mariner reels, 30-pound Andy on it. That one hooked right through the nose there. Good looking bait. Good looking bait. Something's gotta want to eat that. We're just fan casting around the boat. You kind of don't know where these fish are going to be out here. They may be deeper, they may be shallower, so scatter them, see who eats. Guys, I think we got a fish going. Yes, hooked up. Can't tell where he's going. Is he coming at us or not? Let's see. There he is. Now we're feeling it. Feels like a blue, maybe a channel. Got a little head shake going on. Got a little head shake action. That didn't take long. We wasn't sitting here 10 minutes. That's a decent fish. Might ought to net him. I think he just realized he's hooked. Take it any way we can get it. There he is. He's simmer. Got a little spawning color going on. Boom, he's in the net. There you go, guys. Got one in the net. Got a little spawning color going on, a little pre-spawn. See what he looks like here. There you go, big boy. Got you a little bit of color, don't you? There we go. Get all that freed up. Simmer down, sassy. See how long he is. 28-inch fish. Look at that. It's a male. Cover that big mouth, starting to get a little spawning coloration. They're not spawning quite yet, but they're getting close. They're feeding, they're eating. Good looking blue. Let's get him back alive. All right, so why do I like to use bluegill this time of the year? Well, it's because those things are up on the banks spawning, along with a lot of other fish. You know, shad are running the banks. If you've got crappie that pull up, you know, within the last few weeks, catfish are doing the same thing. A lot of the feeding catfish are moving toward the banks, shallower water in the springtime, because everything's going there. This is not the time of the year to be fishing the deepest hole in the lake or the river. I like using bluegill. You know, one of the things is, you know, they're plentiful in most places. Not all places have them, but most places I fish in the southeast, they're relatively plentiful fish, and you can catch them without throwing a cast net. And honestly, they're fun to catch. That's why I like using them. They're a great bait this time of the year. This is when they start, you know, feeding, start biting, start moving up into shallower water where you can catch them. So that's one of the reasons I like using bluegill to catch catfish in the spring. Guys, I think we got one. Yes, sir, we do got one going on Pinky. Oh, Pinky. Orange Hellcat, medium action. We are hooked up. Another catfish on some old bluegill. I love it. Hooking them up, anchored up too. This is not a big fish, but we're happy to get them, man. Nice. Or is he just figuring out he's hooked? He may just be figuring out he's hooked. He's pulling. I felt the head shake. We got nice blue. Nice blue. Got him in the net. Got him in the net. That one got a few scars on it. Got a little battle damage here, don't you, feller? Yes, sir. Ooh. Got a few scars on there. A little ravaging. Don't tell me it's getting nasty in the catfish date world already. There, pretty fish. Torn up tail already? Dadgum. Need to get you back down there. Make us some babies. How about it? He gone. Another reason I like using bluegill is they're a hardy bait. They're easy to keep alive, especially compared to something like gizzard shad or skipjack. You can catch these things, throw them in your bait tank, as long as you're putting some fresh water over them or aerating them and keeping them relatively cool. These things will live a long time. I keep them in my bait tank at home and they do really well there. Even if you're just out fishing on the bank, you know, at night or during the day, if you keep these things in the shade, keep it kind of cool, swap out the water occasionally, or put you a battery powered bubbler in there to keep it aerated, you can keep bluegill alive a long time. And that is one of the reasons I love them as a catfish bait in the springtime. Guys, I got what looks like a smaller fish on Pinky again. I say smaller, it's kind of a jerky bite like it, but it feels heavier now. We'll see. We're just happy to get hooked. Happy to get hooked up. Another piece of cut bait. This one had a head on it. This is a bluegill head. So we know, because I remember putting that back on when we cast it out. I think he just may be wrapped. Yeah, it's a medium-sized fish. Windy today. Wasn't calling for wind. Of course, we ain't exactly had the weather they're ever calling for, it seems like. It's either not going to be windy and it blows, or it is going to be windy and it doesn't blow. We've had some crazy weather, hadn't we, all day? Nice fish. Boom. A good fish right there. Old circle hook doing its job, folks. There we go. Nice healthy blue there. A little bit of mud on it, but they're feeding. 3 fish in the boat on bluegill, back alive. Now, another thing that I like about bluegill is because they are so hardy, you can use them as a live bait or a cut bait. There's a lot of fish like shad, they can be kind of hard to keep alive. Even after if you keep them alive and then get them on the hook, they tend to die on you. Bluegill, different story. Those things are going to swim around and be fine until something out there crushes them. And, you can't do that with, gizzard shad or skipjack as much. So having a fish that will serve you both as cut bait and as a live bait is something I like about them. Guys, I ain't sure. Something was bopping on this and then the line went slack. Yeah, there's a fish on it. There's a fish on it. Small fish. But man, I ain't gonna complain. Rods are bending. Well, this one didn't bend that much. Rods are moving, lines are moving. This is a small fish. We'll take him. We'll take him. Oh. No wonder it was biting so funny. Little juvenile flathead. I didn't show it a second ago, but I caught a channel cat on my perch rod, and so this makes me a slam, albeit not the biggest channel cat or biggest flathead in the world, but man, love catching them. We're seeing more and more juveniles in here. We're seeing more and more big ones. That's a nice little one. They love the bluegill. Everything loves eating bluegill, including these little flatheads. Back alive. Now, as I've said many times, check your local laws, because not every place allows you to use bluegill, sunfish, as bait. A lot of places do here in the Carolinas. As long as you meet your length and creel limits, you can use them. Now, you can't catch them in a cast net. You have to catch them on rod and reel. Some places will allow you to do that. The bottom line is, wherever you're out in the country, read your rule book. If you have questions, call your DNR office, ask them what's going on with that. But if you can use them, they make great bait.